Although the world we live in is always evolving, some things remain constant. The truth is laid forth below. No matter the era in which we live, a guy should always be able to take care of himself, and there are certain skills that every man should learn. Some viewers may interpret this as a display of toxic masculinity. It's hardly surprising. Society as a whole is plagued by wimpy males. To put it another way, they've been programmed to think that males and females are identical. We're going to talk about 6 life skills any man should have in this video. First and foremost, having combat skills. If you are a man and you don't know how to fight, it doesn't matter if you are a businessman, a doctor, or a comic, you lack masculinity. Everyone should try to avoid getting into brawls or street battles, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't learn some fundamental fighting skills. Let's talk about a possible scenario that might arise. What would you do if you were walking down the street with your wife and a random person slapped her on the butt? No matter how many times you call the police, you will not wait for them to arrive. You may choose to disregard it entirely, but then you risk losing the respect of your wife and of yourself. One should not be able to physically harm someone they care about without facing repercussions. You wouldn't believe how many men in the present day would rather ignore the problem than deal with it head-on. A man's responsibilities include taking care of his people. You have lost all dignity and credibility as a protector by turning a blind eye to this. A fight is something you should try to avoid starting if at all possible, but if one breaks out, you should be prepared to protect yourself. If that's the case, you better be able to make a knuckle sandwich as fast as you can. Send a hard straight punch to the jaw after deceiving your opponent into dropping his guard with a series of fakes. If you execute it incorrectly though, you risk injuring yourself more than your adversary. So stop trying to convince yourself that you're stronger than you are. Develop your fighting skills in earnest. Second, the ability to diffuse tensions. Knowing how to fight is a must for this skill. You can always try diplomacy and stern persuasion to calm down a developing situation, regardless of how strong or skilled you are in the art of combat. A leader is someone who can calm a tense situation or stop a fight in its tracks. Just like how all the male gorillas halt their antics when the prime guy enters. Since he is the dominant male, the alpha male can keep the other male gorillas in line. Only a potentially dangerous individual may genuinely master the capacity to diffuse a confrontation. That's why it's equally important to know how to fight and how to diffuse a quarrel. Third, be conspicuously present. If you look around a room, you might notice that some men stand out. The very presence of this man inspires awe and reverence in his audience. Just imagine if I told you it's not some innate talent these men possess, but rather a trainable skill. This presence, you see, is the sum of many individual actions and patterns. A manly man walks tall, shoulders back, and communicates his strength with a hard handshake and eye contact. Men are expected to nod their heads in acknowledgement of each other when making eye contact. The truth is that charisma is a skill that can be honed through practice and application, much like walking or learning a new language. Having said that, I will admit that many men trying to fake these interactions always fail. Don't be that guy who tries to intimidate others by staring them down or squeezing their hands as tightly as he can. Hanging out with actual males is the best way to pick up this ability. Study their methods and adopt them as your own. You could be looking up to a man in your life, like your dad or a mentor. In spite of their affable demeanor and ability to earn the respect of others, fighters are sometimes the most courteous and peaceful men around. Fourthly, in-depth analysis and reflection. One of the keys to becoming a well-rounded conversationalist is having the mental capacity to delve extensively into a wide variety of topics. Better decision-making and an enhanced quality of life are 2 additional benefits of this practice. Taking alternative viewpoints into account is the first stage in developing critical thinking skills. Remember what I always tell you: doubt not only what others tell you, but also what you think you know. This may be easier said than done, but in order to think critically, you need to put aside your preconceived notions and open yourself up to new ideas and facts. The way you've always done something is no guarantee that it's the best way to do it now. Challenge your preconceived notions and dogmas, and think critically about the merits of opposing arguments. You never know what new information you might get. Number 5. Spend wisely. The lack of financial education is probably the biggest letdown among schools, institutions, and colleges. We are conditioned to believe that the vast majority of men lack the knowledge necessary to handle money wisely, make sound investments, and create a secure financial future for themselves. From a young age, most of us learn that the only thing more important than having a job is having a job that pays a paycheck. You can begin making positive adjustments to your financial situation by changing your mentality. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki is a popular finance book that has helped many people and prompted them to reevaluate their relationship with money. Get started as soon as you can studying about personal finance, a necessary skill for success in any endeavor. Number 6. Figure out how to relax. There is a strong correlation between how well you deal with stress and your level of achievement in life. To put it simply, a man who panics and gives up under pressure will always be outperformed by one who can keep his cool and think things through. It's safe to say that stress is an integral component of everyone's existence. More and more is expected of you as a guy, and it can be a source of stress. Life's numerous headaches are a direct result of our procrastination. If you find yourself constantly rushing to get things done or playing catch-up, it's likely that you're a chronic procrastinator. Gain command by documenting your tasks alongside their due dates. The simple act of putting pen to paper can relieve mental burden and tension. Evaluate the items on the list and pick out the top priorities. Focus on one thing at a time until it is finished, and only then go on to the next activity. In no time at all, you'll be able to take the initiative instead of reacting to situations as they arise. It's important for both men and women to work on their strengths, but if women aren't able to handle the stress, that's okay. You need to be able to take it like a man and keep your cool. Don't whine about it. You should expect to grow in power and confidence as a result of tuning into this channel. By the way, if you want to progress in life, click the like and subscribe buttons.